These guys either don't understand the politics or they don't care. But do you know who should be a little bit more worried about the political fallout of this shutdown fight right now and what it's all about? Donald Trump. I think it's worth noting, and I thought this was kind of interesting, who knows, that he privately told Democratic leaders on Monday that he was willing to negotiate on the matter and other health care proposals. Now, why might that be? Trump isn't a policy wonk. Unclear he knows the details. He definitely does not know the details, according to the last couple of days. He doesn't care about the human cost of health care becoming unaffordable. We saw that with the passage of his big, ugly bill. We know that. If it is anything, it's the politics of it. Raising people's health care costs is always going to be unpopular. Just ask people from 2013 who went down through that shutdown. And if people realize that's exactly what Republicans are doing, maybe the Trump administration won't be as eager to keep this shutdown going. Starting us off tonight is Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts. It is great to see you.
It's good to see you.
What a time. The politics I just outlined are bad for Republicans here. The policy's also bad. Why are they doing this?
So that's the heart of it. I just want to remind everyone that in July, just a few months ago, the Republicans, all on their own, passed the first budget bill of this year. And that was, among other things, to knock 15 million Americans off their health care and basically to drive up the cost of insurance, the health insurance premiums, for pretty much everybody in the country. Oh, and while they were at it, to cut a bunch of NIH money as well. So that's what the Republicans did all on their own. Democrats said to them, now look, we're going to come to the end of the year, September 30th. You're going to need our votes. We don't think this ought to be part of the spending package. So we just want to be clear. Let's start talking about it now. Let's start negotiating now on what needs to be in the package, because we are not going to be a party to knocking 15 million people off their health care and driving up the cost of health care for all of the rest of the families in this country. And the Republicans, you want to know how many negotiations occurred, how many meetings, how many around the table, how many back and forth?
But I want you to tell me.
Round number, zero. Zero. They wanted nothing. And so now they stand up and they say, well, we want clean CR. Doesn't that sound nice? It sounds so scrubbed and healthy. What they want us to do is they want the Democrats to okay a spending bill that says we're going to raise costs on health care for virtually every American. And Democrats have said, no, we want you to roll back those cuts. Now, look, we're not asking for anything extra. I think we should at some point, but that's not where we are. We're not asking for additional money. We're just saying roll back the cuts so what people had in June, they can still have in July and August and September and October, instead of driving up costs for people all across this country. We are clear. We are focused. That's what we want. We want a deal, and we want to know that the president and the Republicans will stand behind that and actually follow through. That's all we're looking for here.
And you don't even need them to do it on moral grounds.
No.
I wish they would. We all wish they would. But politically, it's such an obvious thing. They are making healthcare. They would be making healthcare costs go up for Americans in January. Do you think Republicans who are vulnerable, who face tough races, recognize? To me, it seems like they are the ones who are going to push this to a deal.
I hope you are right, but understand. Watch what's happening in the White House right now. Their response is what on health care? To lie about it, right? They say, no, the Democrats are trying to cover illegal aliens, as they call them. There's nothing in Medicaid. There is nothing in the Affordable Care Act. There is not a penny right now under law for any undocumented immigrant to get any help from those bills. And that stays exactly the same. So what else do? They shut down help for New York. Yesterday, President of the United States, the President of the United States, said his plan is if the Democrats won't cave in on this, he's going to fire a whole lot more federal workers. The President of the United States said, I'm going to impose a lot more pain on my fellow American citizens. I'm going to impose a lot more pain on people in New York who need to use those tunnels, who need the upgraded water systems and better bridges. I'm going to impose pain on other Americans so I can get my way politically. To me, that is a place to stop and say, then we're ready to fight about this.
I think that is, people watching are probably happy to hear that. It's such an important thing to fight about. It's not just the president who's saying the quiet things out loud, as you know. I want to play something we found. Mike Johnson did a local Louisiana radio interview this morning. I'm sure he wasn't anticipating people playing this broadly, but here we are. We have to play it. We're going to play it because he kind of, again, says the quiet part out loud.
Okay.
Some good things that could come out of a shutdown, but there's pros and cons. It does give an opportunity to the power in charge, the president in charge, to make unilateral decisions that don't need a vote of Congress about which programs in the government are essential and which are not.
I mean, again, first, it sounds like he is giving up his power. He's the most powerful person in the House. And he's like, it's fine. You can have the power. There's that. But is that what this is all about?
You know, I think it's partly about that. But look, the Republicans are already bending the knee. Whatever Donald Trump wants, he gets from the Republicans, and the Republicans have the majority in the House and the Senate. So it's not like there's been any pushback on any single thing that Donald Trump has wanted. And that's a real problem for us already. But the other half of this is they're trying to find anything to talk about around the shutdown, to blame it on Democrats, so they don't have to talk about the 2/3 of seniors who are in nursing homes, a lot of them with serious health problems, half of them with Alzheimer's, who can just be pushed out on the street under the Republican bill. They don't want to talk about those brand new babies and their mamas who will lose access to health care. They do not want to talk about your neighbor who counts on a home health aide and who counts on having a wheelchair in order to try to live independently and can lose all of that. They don't want to talk about the tens of millions of families who are receiving notices this month saying, here's where your health care premiums were already too high, and here's where they're going to be thanks to the Republicans. There are going to be people who are going to have to make decisions about whether to make rent or pay for health insurance. There are going to be people who are just going to let their health insurance go. There are going to be people who are going to die because of these decisions. And that, more than anything else, the Republicans don't want to talk about. They'd rather shut down the government than help Americans who are just trying to get their costs under control. I think that is a fight worth fighting, and the Democrats are organized to do it right now.